What's up everybody, it's Sendoh here, and over the past few days there's one thing people won't stop talking about: CS2's player count decline. Over these past few months, the game has seen a solid drop in players. Even though we've had a new Premier Season and a new Armory Pass, people are choosing to move on to other games, or simply not touch Counter-Strike at all. Some attribute it to the lack of a functional anti-cheat, others to the lack of content like we used to have, with more casual game modes and even operations. And others claim it's really just the holiday season, and that once everyone goes back to work, the numbers will start climbing again. The truth is that for some people the situation sounds far more alarming than it actually is. CS2 is still pulling very good numbers, but the reality of the player base could be heavily influenced by the huge presence of farm operations and bots. Today we're going to break this down in detail because it's very possible that in a while we'll see an even bigger decline. So let's get into it. Tired of your old Counter-Strike skins? Whether you want to trade them or sell them, SkinSwap is the place for you. The key to SkinSwap is speed. In just a few clicks, you can completely refresh your inventory or cash it out using multiple payment methods. And it gets better. When you make your first trade, you can get a skin worth up to $50, absolutely free. You can even buy skins directly from China at the absolute best prices on the market. Use my promo code sendoh to activate all your bonuses. Link is in the description. Counter-Strike is one of those games where, no matter how much we complain about its state or how bad the anti-cheat is, it still holds over 1 million daily players. It's one of the most played games on all of Steam and of course the king of competitive shooters. Even so, the truth is we've had several months where the general feeling is very pessimistic. On one hand, we've got the skin market, which does nothing but drop, all thanks to the decision to launch knife contracts, abandon the case model, and release terminals with dynamic pricing. And of course the major menu disaster. On top of all this, the Armory Pass hasn't met players' expectations, not because there aren't nice skins, but because there's nowhere to actually generate profit. A lot of the skins are very cheap compared to other Armory Passes. Outside of the market, we've dragged through several months where players could spin bot without an ounce of shame, until the dev team patched it and admitted there was a bug in their anti-cheat. Right now, instead of spin botting, they just run a very blatant wall hack and that's it, they're still undetected. Add to all this that we're in the middle of August, holiday month for a lot of players worldwide, and we've got the perfect formula to explain this drop in players. Well, that would be the explanation if it weren't for the fact that a good chunk of Counter-Strike's numbers are artificially inflated. Not by the dev team, but by all the farm bot operations. In fact, it's very possible that a good portion of the player drop is bots. Bots in Counter-Strike have always existed. In fact, back in the CSGO days, when drops fell randomly after a match, these accounts would simply sit AFK on community servers without bothering anyone else. But with all the changes to the weekly drop system, it's now mandatory to play on official servers and level up at least once to access the weekly drop. At first, the problem wasn't that extreme, because sure, you could win an interesting case or an old skin, but it didn't really justify the infrastructure investment. But of course, with the existence of the Armory Pass, these bots found the business of the century, farming passes for other people. It's very simple. Aside from farming their weekly drop, these accounts are running Armory Passes for other people 24 hours a day. Those people pay for the stars, keep whatever skins come out of the bot accounts, and everyone's happy. This has caused public servers in regions like Asia to be practically unplayable. There are so many bots doing the same thing that Valve has had to take action and run several ban waves. At first they only targeted bot accounts, but eventually they started tracing where the skins were going and ended up banning all those accounts too. In one of the most recent ban waves, Valve managed to block access to CS2 for nearly 1 million accounts, and a few weeks ago they did the same again. But unfortunately, if you jump into a deathmatch, you'll still find them. And there's a very basic explanation for that. While in Asia, what we see is industrial warehouses or offices full of graphics cards running CS2 24 hours a day, here in Europe the people doing the farming maybe do it in a more rudimentary way, with some old PC they've got lying around or a laptop, and the number of accounts they manage is far smaller, because electricity costs more than in China. While in China a company can have over 10,000 accounts running CS2, here you'll have some users doing it sporadically or more amateurishly with a few dozen accounts running the game. So in terms of ban scale, it's easier to find the guy with tens of thousands of accounts than someone doing it homebrew style. This isn't meant to excuse Valve, because the bots are so rudimentary that the problem problem would genuinely be solved with a system that detected those very peculiar movements bots make. And in fact, with the new backnet, it seems the farmers have started to panic a little, because a lot of the clips appearing on the platform are exactly that, farm bots in deathmatch. Right now, the anti-cheat has managed to collect a lot of suspicious clips from these farm accounts, and it's understood that with human input confirming that yes, these are bots, these farm accounts could be efficiently detected mid-match and kicked straight out of the game. In fact, there are already multiple farm operations in China that have ceased activity or put it on standby, not just because of the frequent ban waves, but also because of these changes where bots could be discovered quickly. This means the numbers we're seeing now, which some already consider alarming or worrying, will be nothing compared to when the moment comes that these bots can no longer operate freely. We're not talking about a few thousand accounts, we could see a decline of several million supposed players a month. On one hand, they could start being detected quickly, but on top of that, Valve has left the Armory Pass in such a bad state that these same bots, having accumulated so many stars, have sabotaged themselves. The prices are so low that many of them no longer even recoup their investment in graphics cards, let alone electricity. So Counter-Strike's player decline is only going to keep dropping over the coming months as these measures start being applied, but really as players will come out on top because at least we'll be able to join a deathmatch and find actual human players. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sendoh, and that's it from me for now. Bye.